I'm telling you right now, if the Eagles lose draft capital because of this, I am going to be pissed off.
You better do it. Because I've seen enough horror movies to know any weirdo wearing a mask is never friendly.
Yeah, what's going on, guys? I hope everyone's having a fantastic day today, or at least trying to have a good week. A lot of things need to be fixed this week. We don't know how the Eagles are going to respond in a defeating loss and the way the Eagles got literally annihilated from the world of football. Okay. So there's definitely some things to talk about. Obviously, we picked up Shaq Leonard the other day, and a lot of rumors of Zach Ertz returning to the team. Now, there was a tweet that came out yesterday by Jeremy Fowler saying, while the Eagles have wrapped up the Shaq Leonard deal, they've also inquired an old friend, Zach Ertz, who is still evaluating options as of this afternoon. That was yesterday. Now, interesting enough, teams that were interested in Zach Ertz were the Bills, the Chiefs, and the Ravens. The Chiefs, I don't know if he would go there. The Bills, I mean, they have Kincaid. I mean, I don't know. Maybe they need depth at that point. I don't know. But the Ravens were definitely a big one here because they lost Mark Andrews for the year and, figured that how much interest could the Ravens actually have. Now, John Harbaugh came out and talked about the situation at tight end, since it was marked up by a lot of news outlets that the Ravens had interest. So he was asked about Zach Ertz, the free agent Zach Ertz, and he said, we like our tight ends. I think we'll roll with those guys. So that's already telling you that the Ravens not having interest in Zach Ertz is a big deal. That leaves a lot of things wide open as of right now for the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, I'm still hearing that Zach Ertz is weighing out his options right now, and with them out of the mix, it's a pretty big one there because Zach Ertz could have went to Baltimore and had a pure number one starting job for the rest of the year. So Ravens are getting to the playoffs and and hope to do good things this year in the AFC. So we'll see what happens with the Zach Ertz situation. Like I don't have an issue with it because I feel like you need something there. Like, I don't mind the rotation of having Zach Ertz, using him on third down. I don't think we're getting the same Zach Ertz that we did in 2017, but I think we're getting another player here. Obviously, it's been drafted by the Eagles, been here his whole entire career, and has a chance to come back and really help this team. You're getting Dallas Goedert back next week, and to have Dallas Goedert Zach Ertz in the lineup as well would be an awesome thing. It's like the guy that, backed up Zach Ertz when he was drafted is now the starter, and, the original, tight end that's been here for his whole career could come back, and be in this lineup once again, do some good things. So I'm pretty excited about that. And, we'll see what happens in the coming days. I don't know how long it's going to take. I heard it's going to take another week for him to make a decision. I'm not sure. But big chance he comes back to the Philadelphia Eagles. A good chance here, unless there's a team that comes out of nowhere and picks him up. And we'll see where this goes down the line, down the stretch. Now, the incident with Big Dom, in the 49ers game with Kinlaw. And, we saw what happened. Kinlaw takes Devontae Smith, throws him on the ground. Dom gets in the middle of it. He separates both players with both of his hands, and kind of gives him like a little, and Dom gives Kinlaw a little bit of a mini type shove. I mean, it wasn't even anything crazy, just trying to protect the player on the field. So Kinlaw wasn't still going to go after Devontae Smith after he threw him down. When Devontae Smith got back up, it got pretty heated. So a lot of the league has been talking about this. Kyle Shanahan's another idiot that really tried to make it seem like, he shouldn't be touching the players, blah, 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 but he's just doing his job at the end of the day. Dom, if Dom threw a punch or did something like that, then I would understand 100% completely. But he did literally absolutely. You're going to base it at the end of the day. If you want to find Dom, that's perfectly fine. And I don't think he really gives a shit either. Okay. Now it says from the league, says Eagles head of security Dom DeSandro is expected to receive a significant punishment. And so will the team. One high-level NFL executive predicts. I'm telling you right now, the Eagles better not lose draft capital because of this situation, okay? This isn't illegal tampering, okay? This is this should surely just be a fine and call it a day. They don't have to make this a bigger deal out of what it seems. And I swear to God, Jeffrey Lurie better fight this and stand up for his head of security. Dom's been in the building for years. He has like family in that building. And I don't doubt there's T-shirts being made right now for Big Dom. Okay, kicked out of the game, which I don't think I agreed with that at all. I mean, trust me, if Dom did more and he tackled him or he punched him, yeah, then I understand. But just separating the guys, and then once Kinlaw took a step forward a little bit, he kind of took his hand and like didn't even push, like he just like went lightly, he just put his hand up at him like this, and that was it. And it was over after that. And then he got kicked out of the game. Both of them got kicked out. So this would be stupid, punishment for the Eagles. Like, why should the Eagles be punished? I mean, if anyone's going to get punished and you want to blame somebody, then blame both Kinlaw and blame Big Dom, and just fine them and call it a day. Don't have to make this and escalate it to anything. I'm telling you right now, if they lose a draft pick because of this, it's going to be a big bullshit call I've ever seen in my life. And I hope that's not the case. Now, a lot of stuff's been going on this week about this Eagles defense, and trust me, it has been the most passive defense all year. We were promised about a defense that, offenses were going to feel us, and Sean Desai's biggest lies came out in the offseason and made me believe him, and it has been a fucking disaster. Okay, this team is far from being physical. They don't play physical. Seth Joyner had a lot of shit to say, not even post-game after the Eagles lost to the 49ers, but even the next day he talked about how Slay doesn't like to tackle. Okay, and I know Slay did respond to it, you know what I mean, that, Slay agrees that the team is not tackling well, but, you have like, this defense just, all these guys do in the secondary is they defend an area and they try to push guys out of bounds or push guys to the ground. They don't take the big shot. I see young corners around the league that are like can't wait to get hits on guys. You have Deebo Samuel that was talking shit since last year. He got into this game even as a kick returner. He even took a kick from the end zone. That's how, nobody takes a shot on him. Nobody does. No one has the urgency to take a shot and send a message to him. They just let these guys beat them around for 3 quarters physically. No urgency to be physical. No fight at your own home field at the Link. And you let them take a shit right on you and did nothing about it. It took Big Dom to stand up for himself against Kinlaw after Devontae Smith was thrown to the ground. By that time, it was so late it took literally that moment for the Eagles to get some type of motivation to be excited and start to fight back a little bit. That's why going into this week, it's literally like, it's to a point now where how are you going to respond? Really? I can understand losing a game, but what hurt me the most in my heart was that the Eagles showed up as it was just a regular season game, that there was nothing behind the scenes. These guys dressed in black to put the Eagles in their own funeral. They walked through Eagles warm-ups before the game started, and you took over for 1 quarter, didn't finish on 2 drives with 6 points, 2 field goals, and you let San Francisco literally just beat you physically. And that bothered me probably the most out of the whole entire game. It bothered me internally, like, man, you're home and you didn't even stand up for your city. You didn't even stand up for your fans. You didn't stand up for yourselves. Like, very embarrassing. I think, in my opinion, that was worse than the loss itself. As long as, I know losses are bad, but not having any heart while losing, not fighting back, not punching them in the mouth is horrible. The only guy in this defense that was really hard-hitting all game, that is willing to sacrifice his body for the team, is Reed Blankenship, and he didn't have a great game. He didn't have a great game at all. Reed Blankenship is the only player in this defense that is willing to sacrifice his body and knock guys out, regardless of how they get hit. And Seth Joyner had a lot of shit to say. He said, my job is to be an analyst of the game, Darius Slay. And guess what? You didn't tackle worth a damn yesterday. That's just the truth. What did I say was a lie? The big eye in the sky don't lie. Slay had a response to that saying, first of all, it's Slay. And problem with Buddy is that he said we're scared to tackle. Now, I do agree that we ain't tackle well as a team, but that's scared shit out the door. Seth Joyner ain't wrong. And you know what? Defenses have really bad days. But I'm telling you right now, this scheme is holding the roster back and it's holding this team back. That we're not even talking about the offense. We're just talking about the defense right now. The offense has no excuse for what they have. You're giving a top 2 offense to BrianJohnson on a silver platter, and you don't even know how to use it properly. You don't even know how a play action pass works. It's football 101. This is high school shit. This is high school football teams learn this shit. It's really that sad. And you know what? If defenses have bad games, that's perfectly fine. But we've been dealing with this for weeks. Where there's certain games where this team has played physical defensively. The second half of that Rams game, the Tampa Bay game, where they were playing these linebackers, especially Nicholas Morrow, playing your linebackers downfield. I mean, I thought they played very physical in some of those games. Then there's games like this where they're just. Slay said in a podcast that he doesn't like to tackle, and that was a big red flag to me because that's just saying, dude, like, you're just trying to defend a perimeter and push guys out of bounds. I mean, you don't even want to try to take a hit. When you have a chance to take a hit, you'd rather defend an area, contain, and slowly just grab them, tackle them to the ground. I mean, nobody wants to lay a lick on anybody. Nobody wants to punch somebody in the fucking mouth as soon as they cross you know what I mean? No sense of urgency to do that. It really makes me question this defensive coordinator, how they're training these guys. The guys can't blitz right. They don't know how to blitz. And when they do blitz, it's sloppy, it's late. It's just they can't close a pocket for their life. And when they don't, they get automatically destroyed upfield. Every time there's a dump-off pass, every time there's a reception, I don't see 5 helmets on the football, ever. When do you ever see like 5, 6 Eagles helmets on the football? Never see it. I always see one guy trying to make a tackle, getting dragged for another 15, 20 yards like they did George Kittle, like they did Deebo Samuel. It's a complete disaster. They're not playing. The defense is not playing like a team game. It's not working. This defensive coordinator is not working out for me. I hate this scheme. I've said this a million times. Bend don't break. Can't stand it. Makes your players soft. It doesn't make you excited to play in this defense. You know when the linebackers don't play downhill, they sit in the middle of the field and wait till there's a big run upfield. They wait to get hit. They don't give the hits. That's the difference with this defense. It's night and day from what we've had in the past. But this is, I hate it. I absolutely can't stand it, and they got to do a better job. I'm already kind of done with Sean Desai because I'm sorry, but after this year, I don't know if I could deal with another year of this. And, why put money into your defensive line? Why put money into your defensive line? Why draft defensive linemen high in the draft if you're going to play off ball and, your quarterbacks are going to be throwing in open space constantly? I mean, 19 for 27 for Brock Purdy is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, you can't stop the run when it happens the same way. I mean, you don't have multiple Eagles players to the ball. Everybody's getting destroyed because you're playing passive, and that's for an NFL team, for guys that are playing passive. It's ridiculous. You're not going to get pressure on your quarterback. You're not going to get anything done. So that's all I got to say of this situation. I'm going to see what changes they make. This is on Nick Sirianni. This is Nick Sirianni. You have the control over your coaching staff. This is on Nick 100%. He allows BrianJohnson to call a bad game in the first half and to allow this team to only run with Swift 6 times, and you want to throw over 40 times. You're allowing this team to literally look the same every first half of every game. There is a problem mentally. And let me tell you something. Okay, Jeffrey Lurie has fired a Super Bowl winning head coach. Okay, he will pick his boy Howie Roseman over a Super Bowl winning head coach. Okay, if he could do that, Nick Sirianni could be on the hot seat at the end of 2023. Mark my words. You never know. But other than that, I'll see you guys on the next one. Shakes, what up, follow side. Peace out, guys. Peace.